And the area of my research is about fair trade in the coffee industry. So, the question that I'm raising in my research paper is, how does fair trade influences coffee growers, consumers, retailers, and suppliers? So first of all, I would like to ask you guys, how many of you actually drink coffee? All right, got audience who like coffee, tried it before? Cool. And how many of you heard of fair trade? Anything? Not quite. I spoke to many of you before this presentation. All right, so can anyone please tell me a definition of fair trade in a couple of words, or anything you've heard about it? Just anything, no? That's okay. All right, so fair trade is a certified movement that aims to help coffee growers around the world to export their high quality coffee to developed countries, to retailers and consumers like us. So, how can we? Does anyone of you can tell me how can you identify a certified fair trade product from a non-certified? That's correct. You got it, Mirnas. Got it. And Mirnas, can you please tell me what do you see in the package? Do you see anything like that? Any of those signs? Maybe you got it on the package. I'm not sure. Yes, just look around, look at this as well, so that you can probably tell you one more that's good. So look at the package, and what you will find is that all those logos, they are part of the fair trade. And fair trade is a big movement. It includes a lot of fields such as gold, sugar, corn, and also coffee. So those two you would usually find on the coffee products. So the ones that I gave you, and you can actually pass it around when you see it for yourself, so that others can see it as well. And so fair trade movement is worth of $500 billion. All of them together, and 1 billion out of them is covering coffee, which is 20%. So why did I choose coffee? First of all, many of you raised your hands, and most of you like to drink coffee, or have at least tried it before. But more than that, coffee, it turns out to be the second biggest industry in the world. It is second after oil, and it's bigger than industries like gold, corn, or sugar. And the interesting facts are that worldwide we drink over 500 billion coffee cups. And coffee shops are the fastest growing business in the restaurant industry, in the restaurant business. So it's the second biggest industry in the world, and it's worth of $100 billion. Then why should we even talk about it? It really sounds very nice, and that everyone should be wealthy all around. Well, it turns out to be that if we look back to the origins where coffee is coming from, we'll find that there are coffee growers out there who get paid a penny for their job, who is not sure what tomorrow is going to be like. Those people survive from day to day. My research is focused on Mexico, and that's what I read most of my articles about. And in Mexico, average family farmer earns about $600 per year, which one would find not enough to survive. My research is mainly focused on the small farmers, or what they call family farmers, not a big coffee plantations, because those are more in danger. So, how big is fair trade? Well, in the coffee industry, fair trade covers only 1% out of the entire coffee industry. One would find it insignificant. Well, others would ask me, so how big is this 1%? What is worth of? It turned out to be that 1%, just that 1%, is equal to 500,000 coffee growers around the world. Which means that 500,000 coffee growers out there are getting help to sustain their life, to make their products better, and to send their kids to school. So what does it take to become a certified fair trade producer? Well, first of all, there are certain norms, and fair trade is different to any other charity. Fair trade is not a charity, first of all. Fair trade doesn't just send money to coffee growers. Instead, it teaches them how to make a better product, so that they can adapt to this situation and make a better living. There are certain standards that they require to have for every coffee grower in order to become a certified fair trade coffee producer. First one, I find it one of the most important ones, is a social responsibility. Fair trade prohibits child labor. Children must go to school. They must go to school so that they can get an opportunity. If they would like, they could become a coffee grower. But they can also be someone else, someone they would like to be. It also ensures that all the workers at the farm have their health insurance, so that everyone can stay healthy and do the work that they are required to do. Environmental stewardship. That means, that's a very self-explanatory, but it means that from the moment when they started to grow the coffee beans to the moment when they hand it into co-ops or suppliers, the coffee has to be safe and fresh throughout the way. So that they have to follow some certain rules that fair trade provides in order for this to happen. Economic development. Once you become a certified fair trade member, you can have some partnership that that you are required to have a stable partnership with the business that you're going to be working with. Whether it's a supplier or straight to retailer, doesn't matter. You're going to have to grow as a business or farm and become better from year to year. Grow. Number 4, empowerment. Farmers must create a network. They have to work together. In the local farms, they have to work together, each farm, so that they can help each other, and by helping each other, to make a better product, to live a better life. So after you follow all those steps, and you become a certified member of the certified fair trade member, there are some benefits going to come. First of all, which is pretty straightforward, the quality of your product is going to be improved, because they're going to teach you how to make a better product. They're going to teach you what techniques you should use and what equipment should you use to make a better product, so that you can be more competitive in the market and you can be better off in the future. Second, I already mentioned this, I'll say it once more, children go to school. Instead of working at the farms for their parents or anyone to earn money to survive, they go to school to get opportunities. And the third one of the most important one, is empowering women. While women do much of the work on the small farms and plantations, they often still face unequal treatment, discrimination. Women hired on the fair trade farms and plantations are guaranteed access to health care, certain jobs, and freedom from harassment, so that women are fair trade certified farms have enrolled women through opportunities, education, leadership roles, and scholarships, so that girls can imagine their future not just growing coffee, but also something else, something that they would like to do. So if it's all so nice and pretty, then why doesn't everyone become just a fair trade member? Well, it turned out to be not that simple. Let's imagine for a second, you are a coffee grower. The first word that comes to my mind before even that is that change. That's something that we're all scared of. We're all scared of change. That's big steps in your life. You always come very close to, and you think about it twice before you do so. So let's imagine you're a coffee farmer, and you've been growing coffee for all your life, and then your parents were growing coffee, and your parents were growing coffee for decades. And then one time, someone comes to you and tells you, you were doing it wrong, but we know how to make this better, and you're going to be better off. Well, some would say yes, and they work hard and they become members of the fair trade movement. Whereas others have a fear of what's going to happen with them after. Statistics has shown that there are especially in Mexico, since I'm doing my research in about Mexico, that there are 7 times more coffee growers out there that choose to do a traditional market instead of signing with the fair trade. Well, that's first. But second concern they have is about corruption. We are talking about coffee producers. 90% of coffee producers around the world come from developing countries. And one would say that developing countries tend to be more corrupted than developed ones. Therefore, there is always a risk when you come to the store that you'll buy a fair trade level product, which you know now what it looks like, but it will turn out to be that it's not, and that the coffee farmers will experience the same unfair treatment back there. Well, then you would ask me, why should I even go and buy this product? Well, fair trade works hard on doing stuff like co-ops. They put co-ops next to the farms so that the next second hands after the coffee producers would be hands of a fair trade, the person from a fair trade movement. Co-ops would guarantee that the process, how fair trade product was made, was certified to all the rules that fair trade requires. So that all of us can be ensured that the product we buy is a fair trade product. So, before I finish, there's one more thing I was going to say. 1 second. Consumers play a huge role in making difference. And consumers like you and me, research has shown that participants who were educated of what fair trade is were favoring fair trade product afterwards. They decided to buy fair trade product and favor it to non-fair trade product. 90% of them did. Therefore, if most of us will start buying fair trade products, retailers would have to go off the consumer's opinion about consumers' decisions. And that's how the change would move. That's how we can make a difference. And I would like to finish my presentation by asking this question one more time. So what does fair trade mean? Fair trade means a great coffee for you and a better life